Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make a video today. Some of you may have seen it, but I posted on the community section of YouTube, just posted a picture of a fire I was on, and I wasn't sure I was going to make it to make a video because I had to go fight a vehicle fire, and then just as I was clearing the scene of that, got toned out for, well, it wasn't actually us, but a neighboring fire department got toned out for a grass fire, and they're a very small department, and so I was on standby just in case they might need some help. Ended up not needing me, but because of all that, it's crazy. It was the vehicle fire. It was a delivery truck, and it was a very intense one. So I just wasn't sure if I was going to make one, but here I am. Every time I go on these calls that I run, I think all the time about preparedness. And here I am in a very rural area, and that's where most of you prepper homesteaders live or want to live. And the importance of things like medical and fire and just emergency response, storms, all these things that happen normally, and how it's tough out here. It's not the same. For those of you that's lived in the city your whole life, you call 911, there's someone usually there fairly quickly. Out here, it just doesn't work that way because people are just spread out and the roads are, more rough, and it's just different. Everyone's volunteer out here, so it's not like there's someone just sitting around at the station all the time waiting to go on a call. Odds are when the call comes in, there's probably the time that no one's at the station. So you have to prepare out here. You need to be prepared. I know many people that live out here that have their own kind of fire engine. They've taken a little trailer and they've put an IBC tote on it and a trash pump, which is a gas-driven water pump. And you know what? It's not as good as a professional fire engine, but it can do a lot in saving your property. And then the medical stuff. Everyone should know some basic medical. In fact, I think every one of us preppers should get the most advanced medical training you can come across, the most advanced that you can afford, the most advanced that you have access to. Don't just sell yourself short and say, well, I'm just going to take this basic CPR, this basic first aid, I'm just going to take this basic stop the bleed. You need to take advanced medicine as much as you can. And I'm not saying you got to be a registered nurse or a paramedic or a doctor. If you choose to not go off and get your license, that's fine. I'm not saying that. But on your own homestead, you should be the most advanced medically trained that you can possibly do. And then also understand how to do natural medicines and incorporate it all. Because there may come a time when you need all that and there's no professional help around. And I'm not encouraging people to practice medicine unlicensed. I'm telling you, sometimes you got to take care of yourself. And I talk about these kinds of things over on Locals a lot more. In fact, I've made some videos on little tips on putting out brush fires and forest fires and different things like that, because it happens out here. It happens all the time. And it happens in other places just like this. And the help is there as much as it is in a big city, and when things fall apart, it may be here a whole lot less. And so if you are not incorporating into your preparedness plans how to deal with just normal emergencies, fires, floods, lightning, hurricanes, storms of, ice storms, tornadoes, people falling and getting injured, cuts, illnesses, stuff like that, if you're only focused on, oh, I gotta be ultra super tactical operator, that's cool, that's fun, and it could be necessary. But the odds are much greater that you're going to deal with an injury or an illness or just some kind of natural occurring disaster in your life. Then you're going to have to deal with some type of needing, SEAL Team 6 training. So don't forget about that kind of stuff. It's super important. I haven't had time to look at the news today. I've been just running full steam ahead since early this morning, so I really don't know what's going on. I mean, the world could have ended and I wouldn't have known anything about it because I live here in the beautiful, peaceful Ozarks, And you know, the rest of the world could be at war, and I might not even know about it here. I do know that it's been going around for a while, and I know that Zach Bauer is a good buddy of mine. He's an amazing guy. If you don't know who Zach Bauer is, his YouTube channel is An American Homestead, An American Homestead. He's probably one of the nicest, most genuine people I know. He really is, and it's true. Anyways, he did a video talking about raw milk, and he does a lot of videos talking about what they're doing with the food supplies and stuff like that, and he's dead on accurate with it. There was video just the other day, my wife had sent it to me, and I believe it was up in Wisconsin, Michigan, I don't know, somewhere in the upper Midwest, Rust Belt area. And they had gone into this raw milk place, and they were destroying all of it, destroying the butter, raw milk butter, all kinds of stuff. That they don't want you doing this. There's been countless stories over the last few years of attacks on Amish farms where they go in and shut them down and confiscate all their food, the meat, the milk, dairy, all these kind of products, because they're not USDA certified. Even most of them are private clubs, which is a way to kind of circumvent that. You know, you're agreeing under a contractual agreement that you're purchasing this beef or chicken or whatever it is produced on this farm that didn't get USDA approved, and you're okay with that. Even that, they're still going in and shutting them down. There's so much going on against our food supply, and at the same time, we've got Bill Gates over here in the news talking about maggot milk. You know, I've joked around about the roach milk, and some of you didn't think I'm joking. It's true. There's videos out there where they take roaches that, I mean, they're not milking them like a cow. They're pulverizing them. Kind of like how you make nut milk, you know, where you pulverize the almonds in water, and it comes. They're doing the same thing with roaches. And now they're doing this with maggots, where they're just squeezing and pulverizing and making a milk out. It's absolutely disgusting. I mean, if I was lost for days and days and days, probably it'd have to be almost weeks, trying to survive, I might consider some of those things. But my goodness, I've gone through enough very high quality survival training to know that most places you're not going to have to resort to the maggots to survive. There's usually, if you're smart enough, there's other things around. But anyways, they don't care. It's not about that. They want to manipulate. They put ridiculous chemicals in all of our food supply. Just look at the ingredients in America versus Europe or other places. They want us addicted to the pharmacies. They want us addicted to the all of that stuff. And it's evil. I'm not saying that modern medicine is evil. It's evil what they're doing. The pokey pokes and all of that stuff. And this is something that, now I mentioned yesterday or the day before, I used the term I use occasionally, probably not enough, but I used occasionally called, I don't think that I coined this phrase, but I have been using this years. It was probably 15 years ago, I wrote a little booklet and was distributing it for free, 20-page booklet called Cultural Secession. And that we should secede from this culture. We should realize that this culture is so evil and corrupt, the system is so evil and corrupt, that we should do everything we can to cut ties with it and to do things on our own or to do things as small communities. And that's exactly what we need to be doing, because the stuff that they are forcing at us are absolutely horrendous. The medicines, the chemicals, and then they're trying to kill off everything that's good to eat. They want to kill off all the chickens, all the dairy cows, all the beef, everything. There's been stuff in the news for the last few years on how bad it is to grow your own food. How vegetable gardens are so evil. They're contributing to global warming. You could die from eating vegetables, tomatoes out of your garden. All this kind of garbage. When we know for fact that, especially just by looking around, that so much of the country, the majority of the country is extremely unhealthy, overweight, disease-ridden, and everything. Why? Because the food is awful. And so if you want to prepare, if you want to resist, I get all the time people asking, well, why don't we resist all this? Why don't we lock and load and go stand in a line and, have the shot heard around the world? You want to do something that I believe is way more effective than that? Cut the system out of your life. Produce your own food. And if what you don't produce, find others around you producing that, and barter and trade with them, purchase from them, whatever it is. Cut this stuff out of your life as much as possible. The average person may not be able to cut it out 100%, but the more you do it, the easier it gets, folks. And stop believing that, well, it's USDA approved, it must be okay. I mean, it's what I was raised on, you know, this mac and cheese, this Kool-Aid, this is what I had when I was a kid, it's okay. Number one, it probably wasn't okay, and number two, the ingredients has probably changed over the last 30 or 40 years. Quit believing that this stuff is normal. Oh, well, that's what my grandma cooked. You know, she used corn oil and corn syrup. It must be okay because grandma did it. It's because grandma trusted the government because the government lied to them and said, oh, this is safe, and they didn't have the internet or any other way to look up the resources, and they just believed it. Stop doing that kind of stuff. If you want to turn things around for your life, you've got to start cutting off the dependency of the system. And if you expect to survive through really tough times, you have to be in the best health that you can possibly be in, because it's going to be really tough on your body, on your mind, on your soul, your spirit. So you've got to feed all of that the best. And you want to feed it good food. You want to feed it healthy things. And I'm telling you, folks, you've got to do this. There is a full frontal, absolute, violent attack against the food that you eat. And it's been going on for a while. Most people have been asleep to it. I know that most of you aren't those most people, but we still have to take measures to combat this. And it's going to cost you some more money, most likely. But it's something we have to do as much as you can. I know that's different for everyone. Some of you are able to, because of where you live and what you do, and what you grow and how much money you have, to eat completely clean, natural. Others, you struggle with it. Do the absolute best that you can and keep moving forward with cutting more and more of the government-approved garbage out of your life. I've been drinking raw milk exclusively for at least 2 decades, maybe longer. At least half of my life, I would guess. I've been drinking raw milk exclusively. I've raised my own dairy cows. I don't have them right now, but that is a goal that we're working towards, getting some again. And it's ridiculous. I know for me, I'm healthier when I've drank it. It's just better all around. And if you know what you're doing, it can be safe. If you're dumb about it, it can be not safe. And that's true with just about anything. It's, you know, you're cooking a steak. If you know what you're doing, it's safe. If you're dumb about it, it can, you know, cause you to become ill if you eat it too raw or whatever. So I don't listen to their garbage, and I want to eat the natural things that the Almighty Creator, the Most High, has given to us to eat. What is real food, not just everything, but what is real food. You need to be doing that, folks, because it's going to get worse. The corrupt food system, the chemical-ridden, the bug-filled food system. There's bug stuff already in our food. They just changed the label, the name of it, but it's there already. And it's just going to get worse and worse. Lab-created, bioengineered stuff. It's everywhere. And you need to stop eating it. You need to be getting your houses in order and preparing mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.